Today we have Matthew Biddle and Richard Vidal, the GTT.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I had to think there for a second. For me, I think good morning for some of you still. My name is Matt Biddle. I am the channel sales director over here at GTT supporting TDM and Claris. Rich Fidel is our solutions architect, kind of the brains of the group here for me. And our goal, obviously, now that we're on board with TDM and Claris, some of you have already known me for a few years now, working in a different capacity with another company. Um, Glad to be part of GTT and come on board here and show you what we can do here. GTT obviously being one of the largest networks globally, third largest currently. So we'll kind of go over a little bit of our product set. Rich here is going to share a little slide deck with you, which we can provide to you after for your review. That'll have some more information and then take some questions at the end.
All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll have a look at those slides. Matt, if you'll be kind enough to tell me when we have my full screen working.
It's good.
All right. Well, great to meet everyone. Again, I'm Rich Vidal, Matt's technical sidekick, and I'm going to tell you just briefly a little bit about GTT, who we are, what we do, who our target customers are, some of the things that are unique and differentiating about us. And then I'll hand it back to Matt and he'll talk a little bit more about how our channel program works and go through a couple examples of recent wins that we've had with channel partners. So let's start with the basics. Who is GTT? I think the easiest way to think of us is as a challenger brand to long established large global telecom companies like a Lumen or an AT&T or a British Telecom. We're smaller than they are and more agile, and as I say, a challenger brand, but we are a credible company. We've been in business over 25 years. We're $1 billion in revenue. We have thousands of employees located all around the world, and we have thousands of clients and hundreds of thousands of locations for those clients that we support. As Matt mentioned, one of the characteristics that we can brag about a little bit is our network. We own and operate one of the world's largest global IP backbones. In fact, as internet networks go, it's the third largest in the world. So that puts us in a very, very small group of ISPs who form the global backbone of the world's internet. And actually, this graphic that you see there, the little orange dots, if you're able to make those out, are metropolitan areas all around the world where GTT has network and points of presence. We actually are large enough that we can reach full 70% of the global internet without even touching a peer network, just in terms of the folks who are our customers or customers of our customers. The other thing that we do that's kind of unique is that we have long-standing buy-sell relationships with many different kinds of network providers that allow us to deliver services to customer locations wherever they are anywhere in the world. And we illustrate that in this map with the color coding. So the green, the darker the green, it's indicative of a larger number of relationships that we have in that part of the world, where we can, again, connect customers up with whatever kind of last mile connectivity they need to reach their locations. And when I say whatever they need, I mean not just traditional fiber or copper or wired type services. We also, in our toolbox, have cellular services that we can resell, satellite, microwave. So we have a great number and diverse set of technologies and vendors that we can work with to help connect our customers wherever they are, even if they have hard to reach locations with whatever kind of diversity they're looking for. That capability in our industry is often called local access aggregation. And there are some companies out there that just do that, who don't own a network. But GTT is kind of unique in that we own a network. We are a large carrier in our own right, but we also have this aggregation capability. So sometimes you'll hear us say that we're one of one because we feel that that combination is unique in the industry and is really a multi-category capability that we have. So what do we do with this network and these relationships? Well, we're in the wide area networking business. So as we said in our little tagline for this meeting, we're in the business of simply and securely connecting people and agents to apps and data, wherever they are, anywhere. So that means we provide wide area connectivity, we provide network security associated with the wide area, and many of those things we offer as managed services or with optional professional services attached to them. So because we're in the WAN business, the kind of customers that get the most benefit from us tend to be customers who are distributed, right? So the more locations, the more spread out they are, the more people they have spread out, the more clouds and different things they have to connect up to, the better we can serve them. So that tends to skew towards the mid markets and larger type businesses. We do have some SMB clients that fit our profile, but generally speaking, it tends to be more mid markets and larger. And again, the characteristic is really just having a need for wide area services being spread out geographically. And so for us, there are many verticals where that is applicable. There are just 10 of them listed here. That's not an exhaustive list, but it does give you an idea that there are quite a number of different verticals where we play and have success. Now, in terms of the products and services specifically that we offer, this wheel illustrates that with the inner ring showing the different kinds of products and services. And then the outer ring, those logos are various technology and ecosystem partners that we work with in delivering those solutions. So for instance, right up top, we're a Juniper shop in terms of that third largest network in the world. So the core transport services we provide, internet services, IP transit, Ethernet connectivity, MPLS, VPLS type services, all built around Juniper. We have a portfolio of managed CPE that includes leading brands like Cisco, Fortinet, Cradlepoint. GTT ourselves also have a family of CPE that we have contract manufacturers make for us. I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. Our primary managed services in the wide area are managed SD-WAN and managed security. And our key vendor partners there are Fortinet, Palo Alto, and HPE Aruba. We have other security services too, like DDoS mitigation we offer with our internet. We have a managed detection and response service that's built out of our own security and operations center. As I mentioned earlier, we provide services beyond just the basic wired things. We have a pretty strong broadband wireless play as part of our business. So we do business with companies like Starlink, with all the major cellular providers. We work with SIM aggregators around the world to be able to provide services in well over 60 different countries. We do a lot of cloud interconnection for our customers, connecting them up to things like AWS, Azure, and Google. We participate in ecosystems like the Equinix Fabric to, again, make it easy for our customers to connect up to the different services and clouds that they want to connect with. And then finally, at kind of 11 o'clock on the dial there, we also have a strong SIP trunking practice. So GTT actually has an international SIP offering where we can provide local and toll-free calling in many countries around the world and deliver that via convenient SIP trunk to our customers' environments, often things like Zoom or Teams or Google Voice or WebEx. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about how we do what we do and how it's, I think, different and better than what many others maybe are able to do. And that is that we have, through the years, invested considerable resources and dollars into our network and into our back office to create what today we call GTT Envision. This is a platform for services and applications that exists in our company that is inclusive of our core network. It's inclusive of some of our CPE portfolio. It's certainly inclusive of our back office and the tools that we give to partners and customers like our web portal. All of that functions together much like a cloud platform where, the idea behind Envision is to move from a traditional telecom model where things are done kind of the old stodgy way. Every kind of a service is an order that somebody has to key into a system, and then weeks later, some truck has to roll out and somebody has to bring you a box and install it and plug in a wire and those kinds of things. What we're really looking for is a software-enabled model where we can deploy services in our network in seconds through automation and through software. Similarly, as I mentioned before, we have a family of universal CPE products that we've been investing in for well over a decade. We call that the Envision Edge. You can see one of them there in the bottom center, the GTT branded server that you see there. These devices can be deployed at customer edges and they run hypervisors, and we can put virtual network functions there. Simple as a monitoring bridge or a router, or it can be a firewall, it can be an SD-WAN endpoint, it can be a service chaining of things together, so combinations of those things. But most importantly, it allows us to do these things through software. So that platform allows us to install and meet our customer with whatever they need today. And then over time, we can utilize that software and automation capability to evolve and grow with them and to deploy new services without truck rolls, again, to do things in minutes rather than in weeks and maybe even months. I guess the other thing I would mention is I mentioned that we have a portal. I know that's a pretty small little screenshot there in the lower right. It certainly doesn't do it justice, but in a meeting like this, we don't really have the time to do it. But if you guys have interest in it, we can arrange, separate opportunity to walk you through this. We call that Envision DX. That is the digital experience part of Envision. And it's an area where we have been investing in for a long time, and we've made a lot of great strides there to bring more power and more automation and more visibility and control to our partners and to our customers. In fact, one of the things that we've been really developing recently that we are rolling out soon to the channel community is really the ability to do automated configuration, pricing, and quoting with AI assistance and intelligence. So it's a whole new next generation way to configure and quote services very, very simply, just answering a few questions and using a lot of intelligence on the back end to do things like validate addresses and to have the business logic to correctly match a box and its capabilities with bandwidths to apply the right licenses, all those kinds of things to really make it easy for our customers if they want to get a quote for a new service, or for partners who want to be involved in quoting and delivering new services to customers. So that, in a quick nutshell, answers the questions: who is GTT? Who do we compete with? What do we do? Who our sweet spot customers are, and who some of our partners are. And now I want to pass it back over to Matt to talk about another really important area where we are very different, and that is in terms of how we view the channel and how we support channel partners.
Thanks, Rich. With GTT, we view ourselves as a channel-first organization. Our goal is to have as much partner engagement on every account as possible. We don't look at it as with some companies where you have your channel side, you have the direct or enterprise side, in our case, competing with each other. We don't view it like that at all. Our goal is to make it as harmonious as possible. So every account brought to us by a partner will have an enterprise seller attached to it, but there's no change in compensation, no change in strategy. You will never have to look at it as they're going to try and sell them stuff and leave you out. Their goal is to just enhance the experience, make it more seamless for you as the partner, as well as for the customer. So they have that single point of contact. Should they need something, they can go to that individual, and that enterprise seller is going to working again on your behalf to maintain that account, upsell it when needed, or make changes as needed. And again, from a partner standpoint, you never have to worry about them going in. And taking something away. You don't have to worry about any kind of compensation reduction. It is still 100 across the board for us. So we want to make it as seamless as possible. The other advantage to that is you also have the ability, not just on reselling opportunities, but if you have wholesale opportunities, to bring us into those and still have the same level of account engagement as you would if it was a normal resale. So if you choose to if you have a customer that you're doing wholesale agreements with and you want to work it that way, we are more than happy to do that. In addition to that, there are no blocked accounts, whether it's government, SLED, Fed, any type like that. It could be an existing customer that already has business with GTT. And if that customer is like, hey, we want to work with TDM and Claris on all business going forward, any new business you give us, it doesn't matter if they're billing $5 million a month with us right now, any new business that they want to work with you on, you can bring that to us and get compensated on it as well. We try and make this as seamless as possible to work together so that you can bring those opportunities in and you can reap the benefits of having that customer come to GTT without risk of something else happening. This is one area. I think the goal for GTT is to make it probably 3/4, about 75% partner-led over the next couple of years, get it to that high number, because we realize the future of this industry, the way it's working with customers, it's going to be the partner that's bringing the value, because they bring the options, they bring the analysis, they know more about each individual company than a direct seller going in there and just trying to sell only their company. So we really find that engagement important. So anytime you bring something in, You would bring that opportunity to me. If there's any technical information that needs to be done, I'll engage with Rich and bring him in. But once we start the quoting process, we'll make the introduction to the enterprise seller, who then will work with you every step of the way to help sell that opportunity or provide any types of information that the client may need from us, demos, or just in general information as well. Next slide, Rich. Thank you. So this is just a quick, and again, we're going to sell this, and I'm going to upload the actual case studies, but these are actual highlights of some of the recent wins we've had and where we are really making our play. And as you can kind of see, there's some good sized deals in there. First one, upper left, passenger car rental agency, a $231,000 monthly deal that comes across from everything from diverse DIAs to the FTTX product that exists out there, which is more or less a symmetrical broadband solution out there, which brings in a lot better pricing for much higher bandwidth, as well as 5G managed services and professional services on our side, because we also do professional management as an option for our clients. We have a global manufacturing, or I'm sorry, the passenger one was 33,000. The global manufacturing was 231,000. Again, dual diverse DIAs and network monitoring, as well as our portal, the GTT Envision DX portal. And then an automotive one below that, everything from DIA to SIP to our Envision Edge devices that we put out on site, which Rich kind of alluded to. The nice thing about that, and he kind of gave you a high level there, that device goes out on site preloaded with 16 different configurations. So if you have an IT department there that today is a Palo shop, and let's say in 5 years they want to move to Fortinet, we don't have to do a new truck roll. It's just configuration changes on our end. We get all that information, we push out that update, and they can make that switch over without having to do a rip and replace. Next slide, Rich. I think that might be our last one.
That's it.
So yeah, so it kind of highlights where does GTT really fit in? What should you be looking for from the customer profile out there? GTT, yes, Rich alluded to that SMB that we can do out there, but our focus is mid-market enterprise. So where we really start to come and play is when you have customers that have three or more locations and they're geographically diverse. So you might have different cable codes, you might have different LECs in play, and they want to consolidate all under one paper. Ideally, if they're looking for diversity, multiple connections at each location, and they want to have that managed by one vendor. Or the beautiful part about it is with us having our own network, option A, connection A can come back to our network, so we have control. And then for true diversity, we can do a straight resale on connection B, giving them that option to kind of diversify that out there, give them that redundancy that they're looking for in the process. So that gives us a huge advantage as well. So when you hear customers talking, and I'll let Rich kind of add here in a second. When you hear customers talking and what you should be looking for, again, that geodiversity, multiple locations, maybe they're looking for somebody to take on more management of their network. Those are some key plays for us out there. Rich, how would you add to that?
The only thing I would add, one thing is, just 1 second, I wanted to get that cleared up here. One thing I would say is that when it comes to managed services too, it's not a one size fits all proposition at GTT. We know that some customers are predisposed and want to do some of their own management and configuration. Some want their MSP to do everything for them. So we don't have a one size offering. We have 3 tiers, right? So some of our largest clients, they want to do a lot of the day-to-day management, for instance, of their security or of their SD-WAN routing policies in-house. And so we can offer them a basic platform as a service type offering where we still furnish the equipment and the licenses, and we do things like the configs and the backups and the break fix and a lot of the things that a managed service will do for you that are kind of mundane things. There's still a lot of value in us doing that, even for a big shop that wants to do their heavy security lifting in-house. And then we have customers on the other end of the spectrum that really want us to white glove and do everything. So as Matt said, customers who have an inclination to outsource those things are a good fit for us, but don't be afraid if a customer says, well, we want to actually co-manage this, or we want to have control in the platform. GTT is totally cool with that, and we have offerings that accommodate those kinds of customers. One other thing I wanted to add too, as Matt was talking about the co-selling model and the power of having account teams assigned along with the partner to help close the deal and make things go well. I'll put in a plug for my peers in that organization. We have solutions architects on all those teams too. And we also have customer success managers on all those teams. Mm-hmm. So those account teams do more than just close the sale and make the project go well. They design the solution properly. They have customer success people to make sure everything goes smoothly, even introducing customers to our portal, making sure their first bill is correct. All those little things are tucked and tied with that model to make sure that things go smoothly for the customer and for the partner.
So I guess, so for us, the next steps, obviously, I will get more information uploaded into the Resolve platform for you to see, so you can kind of get in there. If you would like a demo of the portal, we are more than happy to give that, because once you get in there and really get to see it, it fits exactly what a customer would want to be able to do in there and to manage it. And as that partner, a lot of our partners have access into that portal, so they can help manage that network as well for the clients. We are absolutely on board with doing that. Our goal is to make it as seamless as possible doing business with GTT. We want to bring all the resources in from the start that may be needed to make that experience from quoting to sale to post-sale installation, and then just day to day once they're up and running. We want to make it as smooth as possible for everybody involved, because again, we know for our partners, you're the voice that's bringing the vendor in, so you want to look good in the process, and we want to make sure we're putting all the resources in there to make you look good, make it shown that you've made a good decision recommending GTT for that client, and that their service is going to be the quality that they expect, the support they expect. And that'll sum it up for us. Are there any questions? I haven't looked at the chat. Perfect.
We do have one question. During the discovery phase, will the direct rep and their engineers be involved, or will it be the channel team until the deal progresses to a certain stage?
We can bring them in. So once you register that deal with us, and I get that entered into our system, it is assigned a rep right at that point. So a lot of times what happens is partner will send over say, hey, I need DIAs at these 3 locations. I'll get that put in, and we'll put together a quick quote at that point, and then we can dive in further. But the moment I get that entered into the system and registered, an enterprise rep is automatically assigned.
Yeah, so I would add that, what Matt and I will do too is we make sure through that transition, we don't just evaporate instantly, right? We'll make sure that goes smoothly and gets going. What we don't want to do is two different discoveries. We don't want to do like a whole preliminary discovery and then a different team shows up later and has to go back and go through that. So we do certainly like to get the enterprise team involved. But Matt and I are certainly involved in the transition, and we're also quite capable of the early stage of the process, where sometimes there's a stage where the client is still trying to decide, what they want to do. So it's not really discovery yet. We're just talking capabilities. We're explaining what we can do. And so we are happy to get on any call at that stage and help close them and get them excited about working with us, and then bring in the direct team from there.
Perfect.
Okay, our next question is, how long does it take to get connectivity quotes? Our experience has been slower than industry peers.
Most of what we have in our system we have APIs built into a lot of the major carriers. So most of the turnarounds should probably be, I would say, 1-2 days max. Once we start getting into some of the other vendors that we don't have APIs built in, obviously we have to send that out to them. So it might take a little bit longer, but we try and turn those around as quickly as possible, unless it's something a little more complicated that we do need to bring in additional resources for more discovery, because once you start talking SD-WAN security, it's not as simple as just throwing something out there and say, here's our quote. We have a lot more questions that are going to need answered. But when we're talking straight network, it's usually a fairly quick turnaround. I'd say 1-2 days, barring anything else. But we do keep in contact and let you know, hey, we're taking a little bit longer on this, or we need to get a little more information, or we have to send this out to a couple more vendors, or if there's a price target, so we have to push back on those vendors, that can affect the timeline as well.
Right. And international can as well too, right? Obviously
Yes.
your
Yep.
mileage varies by country and all that, but we have plenty of experience with vendors all around the world, and we know, what hoops we have to jump through to get things done pretty much everywhere.
Yes.
All right. What are the top three differentiators for, versus other SD-WAN network providers? Easy to remember.
You
I'm
want me
gonna
to
let
take
Rich
that
take that
now?
one. Yeah, I'm gonna let Rich take that one.
All right. So number one is our network is part of the solution, right? So when GTT delivers an SD-WAN, it's not just another over-the-top Fortinet or another over-the-top Palo or anything like that. We integrate our network in as part of the solution, and we leverage the power of that backbone as part of the solution. It allows us to deliver a better than internet experience for our customers. So that would be one. Two is visibility and control. So again, we didn't have the opportunity to do any kind of a demonstration here, but we offer full visibility through our tool set into an SD-WAN environment. Plus, we offer single sign-on into the vendor curated environments that come along. So customers who, let's say they know Fortinet really well, and you get a Fortinet from us. Every client has a dedicated FortiManager, FortiAnalyzer that we stand up, or for Palo, it's Strata Cloud Manager. We give them the tools that they know, and we give them access to those tools. So through our own tools and through the tools of vendors, they have complete visibility and control into their environments. So I would say those are two really big differences in terms of SD-WAN with us versus others. And then maybe the third one is just the fact that we have such an established aggregation access capability that when a customer is looking for network as well as an overlay solution, GTT can do that whole job for them very seamlessly. There's no finger pointing, it's coordinated. So when those occurrences happen, where customers want both network and SD-WAN at the same time, or a combination of those things, there's really nobody better than us to do all of that.
Regarding wholesale, is there a revenue minimum for wholesale to be considered?
Not that I'm aware. I have not been given one yet. So,
I don't believe so.
All right. What does a typical sales cycle look like for GTT?
um, from start to finish, obviously bring it in. You register the quote with me, the opportunity with me. I get that entered into our system. Um, from there, get that over to our
Yes.
pricing team and the enterprise rep that's going to be assigned to get that quoted out for you. Once we get that turned around, and the customer gives the go ahead, we create the soft. And um, depending on timelines, I mean, those can range on the solution, how long it could take to install. But I mean, I always say industry standard applies for that. So it's a very simple process. The information gathering process is very simple as well. So it makes it a pretty quick start to finish. It just all depends on some of the capabilities or level of enhancements or detail that is needed.
We have a couple more questions. Do
Okay.
customers get a dedicated account team after the sale from GTT?
They do. Once a deal is registered, as I mentioned, they get an enterprise rep assigned to it. Once that order is signed and brought back to us, at that point, they will also start assigning to a customer success representative, and they are there for everything post-sale, like questions, hiccups, changes. They can help with a lot of that. They will be those people that help on the day-to-day management. Hey, I need to make this change, or I have a question about this, or I need a demo of this, or can you show me how to make this work? But from the start, yes, they're going to have that team right away. It's not a wait until something happens situation.
And what types of deals should we avoid bringing to GTT?
Um, from my perspective, I would say while we do have a fair amount of SMB business, those smaller ones that are just looking for like the cheapest possible connection, single connection, those are definitely going to be ones I'd say let's avoid there. If we are going, even if it's multi-site, but it's all in one LEC, say we're talking all around, let's say the Louisville metro. So it's all one LEC right there, but they might have 6 locations. Odds are that LEC is going to be able to come in a lot more competitive because they're all in that one region. Those are probably some of the ones I would say we would want to avoid.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. And our last question is there an orders portal?
If we're talking to place orders, it is not quite complete yet. that Rich kind of alluded to that is something that is coming very soon. That's going to be in the Vision DX, where you can go in, get those quotes. It is very close. I know that. I've seen some demos of it already.
Yeah, I would add there that we already do have the functionality. Once an order is entered, they all appear inside Envision DX, and so they can be tracked, the status of orders, and that's actually a pretty big differentiator. A lot of people, the competitor portals focus on active installed running services, but there could be weeks while an order is in flight and we're waiting for a vendor for a FOC date, or we're waiting to get a device shipped somewhere or anything like that. All of that status tracking of all open orders appear already in the portal. What will be new that Matt's alluding to is the ability to actually place those orders yourself.